What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode. Today we're talking about US electric vehicle sales for the month of October. These numbers just came in from Inside EVs, the electric plug-in sales scorecard. You should all be following this. It's really important data to track who is the best-selling electric car, etc. Well, for the 10th month in a row, every single month this year, Tesla's Model 3 is the best-selling electric vehicle in the country by a mile. Nobody else is close. They sold 17,750 units in the month. The next best-selling pure electric car was the Chevy Bolt, actually did come in at number 2 with only 2,075 units though. And then number 3 and 4 were the Model S and X from Tesla as well. So Tesla still 3 out of the 4 best-selling EVs in the country in the month of October. Now, let's take a look at some charts. So, as you can see, Model 3 sales have been growing dramatically over the past year or so, although they were down a little bit in October from September, and actually even down a little bit from August 2018. Now, there's a couple reasons behind this. First, I do want to say, though, that sales of 17,750 units for the Model 3 in a single month in the US is incredible numbers alone. So, these are phenomenal sales just by themselves, still almost 10 times better than the next non-Tesla sales. But even so, the reason why I believe that Tesla's sales in October declined slightly is probably because September was the end of the quarter. They were trying to prove profitability. They had a massive delivery push at the end of the quarter. And so they always, get rid of all these cars. And then right as the new quarter starts, I think they slow down production a little bit to give employees a break. They probably do the same thing at the delivery centers, etc. And so then that little lag at the beginning of the month or beginning of the quarter, which happened to be October, makes it hard to do deliveries. So usually, if you'll notice, the slowest month of deliveries for Tesla is the first month of the quarter. So I think that's what we're seeing here. But even so, sales of 17,750 units is incredibly strong. Also, they may be delivering cars to Canada as well. I don't have too much information on that, but that could be part of the sales numbers as well. These are just the US. Now, another way to look at the data, here are the top selling cars in the US, pure electric vehicles through the first 10 months of the year. You'll see the Model 3 sales of almost 96,000 units in just the US. I mean, nobody comes close. The Tesla has the top 3 best-selling electric vehicles in the country. The Bolt, the Leaf, BMW, and Fiat 500 are rounding out the bunch here, but just none of them are even coming close to Tesla. And once again, I say this every single time, but like Tesla's cars, even the Model 3 is priced at about 2 times higher than any of the competition, yet it's outselling them by a dramatic amount. These numbers look incredible, but when you take into the fact the average selling prices as well, it's even more impressive, the data that Tesla is putting up. Specifically, if we compare this to the Chevy Bolt, which was the Tesla killer, Tesla's Model 3 outsold the Chevy Bolt by 8.6 to 1 in October, 17,750 units to just about 2,000. Now, and I will say, you may be asking, like, what about the Jaguar I-PACE? Because I did find an article that said that Jaguar I-PACE deliveries did start in the US actually, but I couldn't find any data on Inside EVs about deliveries. My guess is they only delivered like a handful of these cars to customers to make a media splash, but I do know Jaguar has also been rumored to having a bunch of production issues and delays with the car, so that's the reason why the Jaguar I-PACE, which is another Tesla killer, has been putting up no market share numbers, but I will give them credit for their first US delivery. On a quarterly basis, this is what the Model 3 has done through Q3. For Q4, I'm expecting deliveries of only about 62,000 units. If we assume that there's about 11 weeks in the quarter, this averages to about deliveries or production of about 5,600 cars per week. So over that 5,000 per week number, not huge growth from Q3. Part of the reason being is I think Tesla, now that they've ramped production so significantly, so quickly, the focus on Q4 is in improving the production process, not paying employees overtime, just getting better and better at it. And let's face it, 62,000 Model 3s in a quarter is absolutely an astronomical number in terms of what Tesla was building just a year or two ago. Another thing that you may remember from the conference call is that Tesla is slowly ramping production to about 6,000 per week, then 7,000 per week, throughout the quarter. And that's why I averaged about 5,600 cars per week using 11 weeks, somewhere in between there. And I think Tesla's being very smart with their ramp, because could they push this production number to, 75, 80,000 units of just the Model 3 in the quarter? Sure, but they would be forcing it. They would be paying employees overtime. It wouldn't be the smartest decision. So I think they're growing at a more healthy clip. And that's why, for now at least, I'm expecting deliveries for the full, worldwide for the Model 3 about 62,000 in Q4. Now let's take a look at the broader electric vehicle market as a whole. This is what we're looking at: annual plug-in sales in the US through 2017. Now, just through October of 2018, we've already, even with 2 months left in the year, we still have seen tremendous growth. Already sales of 267,000 units. If we look at the first 10 months of the year, of each year, this is just shows how much of a breakout year this has been for the electric car. Almost all thanks to Tesla's Model 3, but 70% unit growth through the first 10 months of the year. I mean, I can't find another niche in the auto industry that it's growing this fast. In terms of what I'm projecting for the full year, I'm looking at deliveries of about 337,000 electric vehicles in the US for 2018, which would be an increase of 69%. So once again, really, really fast growth for electric vehicles. And this is the breakdown of Tesla versus non-Tesla. You'll see that Tesla was, a good chunk of the market up until 2017, but in 2018, because of the Model 3 is launch and mainstream success, is absolutely taking over with more than 50% market share of US plug-in sales. If we take a look at global car sales, because I know a bunch of you hyperchangers have been like, hey, why do you only do the US numbers? Well, Inside EVs pretty much only focuses on US numbers. I live in the US. The Model 3 has only been really available in the US, so that's why I've been focusing on that market share. But I did find the global plug-in sales, which are also on Inside EVs now, so I've charted those out for you here. And as you can see, global electric vehicle sales have just been skyrocketing, are on track to hit almost 2 million units in 2018. So this is just great news for the world. I mean, I still think there's something like 80 or 90 million cars sold per year. So it's just a couple percentage points of the overall car market. But, if you assume that the amount of cars sold around the world is kind of flat here at 90 million, electric cars are, 2 million. Next year, it'll be 3 million, then 5 million, then 7 million. Like within the next 5 to 10 years, electric vehicles are going to go from a niche to potentially the majority of new car sales. And this is super, super exciting stuff. We're witnessing one of the biggest transitions in the auto industry unfold in real time as we electrify the transport industry, and it's all been catalyzed by Tesla. And so this is really, really impressive stuff. If we take a look at what Tesla is actually expected to do, per my estimates, sales of 250,000 units globally in 2018, which would put them at about 13% market share of the overall global plug-in sales market. And so this is sort of from a longer term perspective, my view on Tesla is they're going to be the Apple of the auto world. They're going to be, that premium, that luxury brand that maybe 15 to 20% of people have overall. I hope they make it more accessible and more people have it, but for now, that's their strategy. They go for the luxury high end of the market, keep building their technology down to access more people, and they already have 13% of one of the fastest growing parts of the automotive market. So that wraps it up. This is my 10th video. I hope these aren't too repetitive, but I started out way back in January saying that every single month I was going to analyze the electric vehicle sales data, because it's hard to believe now, but at the time, every skeptic was saying like the Model 3 is going to fizzle, the competition's always coming, every other car maker is better, suited to compete in electric vehicles. There's always been this mantra of like Tesla's not going to be able to do it. And so that's why I just think it's so important to run through the data every month, as much as you want to focus on Elon's tweets, on this Wall Street Journal article, on this, none of that matters. Let's look at the numbers. This is, Tesla's main business right now is selling cars. So let's look at how many cars they're selling in the fastest and, in my opinion, most important part of the future of the car industry, electric cars. And the data shows that Tesla is the top 3 best-selling cars in the country by a mile, and they have over 50% market share of the US electric vehicle market. Like, this is the data that shows that Tesla is pioneering the way to the future. This data shows they're a disruptor. This is why people get so confused about the company's valuation, why they're not making profits, why are they worth so much money, why are they worth more than Ford and GM? Because Ford and GM are nowhere to be seen here. And if this is the future of the industry, if we can all agree that we're going electric, the company that's showing this type of market share dominance consistently every single month, and with the gap widening, that data really clearly shows which company is well positioned for the future of the industry, and it's Tesla. And so that is what it is. That's my monthly wrap up of the US electric vehicles data. Would love to know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, if you like Hyperchange, definitely check out our Patreon page. Consider supporting there. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.